But talking about people in Hollywood, we're going to transition nicely into Alec Baldwin. I personally have followed this because it's very interesting. It's a world that I've not, ventured into as far as movie sets and scenes. It all looks like magic to me when you watch a movie and you see all the bullets. You think it's edited or post edit that they add all these things in, all these fireworks and all these bombs. But sometimes there really be real live bombs going off and real life blank guns being shot. But anyways, let's go watch and look into this. I'll also bring my boy B Rich into this, Crystal Vision into this to talk more about this because we are both legal firearm owners and see the perspective on this. Let's go.
32 Santa Fe, one female shot in the chest.
New Mexico prosecutors have charged Alec Baldwin with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
With a gun, yeah. Okay.
Baldwin fatally shot cinematographer Helena Hutchins accidentally while rehearsing a scene on the set of the movie Rust in 2021, an incident the district attorney in Santa Fe believes is criminal.
Everybody stops what they're doing right now. This is a crime scene.
He pointed the gun at someone else, and she says he pulled the trigger. And with those actions, he failed to do what he was supposed to do, according to the DA.
Baldwin's lawyer said that the actor had no reason to think there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the film set. Here's a breakdown of the charges and what they mean for Baldwin.
We've done this for 2 weeks and we did it the right way every day.
Video released by the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office showed Baldwin preparing for a scene with a revolver in October of 2021. According to affidavits from the Sheriff's Office, both the film's first assistant director David Halls and the armorer overseeing weapons, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, handled the gun before it was given to Baldwin for the rehearsal.
Just relax. You're all right. Just relax.
Halls gave Baldwin the gun and yelled "cold gun," indicating the firearm didn't have live rounds. An affidavit from the Sheriff's Office said Baldwin took the gun and fired it.
The biggest remaining
So apparently, I read some legal things on this. You are still the number one rule in general with firearms is you do not point the firearm at anything you do not intend to destroy. Rule number 1. Of course, you do not press the trigger at anybody unless you want to actually fire and kill them and destroy them, right? So. And even on movie sets, even when they use firearms and they use blanks and so forth and so on, you are supposed to do a firearm check. Like, for example, like if I was going to handle this firearm, I'm supposed to clear it, make sure that there's nothing in it, right? Make sure I had something in there, okay? You're supposed to clear it, make sure that there is nothing in there, make sure that it's empty. You can do so by looking in here, looking in there. I sometimes stick my finger in there just to make sure that there's nothing lodged in there. Even after people on set, the professionals responsible for holding this firearm or handling it and making sure that everything is set prior, do it. You, as the actor, apparently hold the same responsibility, which I agree with to an extent, right? But the argument is, why would I hold the same responsibility when I'm paying all these professionals to check this firearm, to do all these safety checks for me, right? But 2 people apparently checked the firearm before handling it to Alec Baldwin. One is the armorer, and the other one is a assistant director or somebody in that line. And they handed it to him. They yelled "cold gun," which means that the firearm is safe to handle or sit to shoot with. And he's like, because I trust these people to have done their job, because I trust them, I am not going to, let's say, double check this firearm. I am not going to do my due diligence to check and make sure that everything is safe. So, and because of that, the state is coming back and said, hey, you failed to do your due process. You failed, and you are now going to be charged with aggravated manslaughter.
Mystery in the shooting is, how did that live ammunition end up on the set?
Santa Fe Area District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwies said an investigation into the incident hasn't revealed how the live rounds got there, and that the question likely won't be answered.
So the district attorney has said the question of how the live ammo ended up on set actually doesn't matter to her case.
Are these the rounds here?
Regardless of what the armorer did, regardless of what the prop handlers did, regardless of whether, what the movie said itself, what culpability it had, the argument then would be, look, Mr. Baldwin has an independent culpability.
During an interview with investigators, Baldwin said he didn't know there was a live round in the gun.
I take the gun out, and as I take it, as it clears, as the barrel clears, I turn and cock the gun over here. I turn and cock the gun, the gun goes off. It's supposed to be a cold gun.
Baldwin's lawyer said he relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds.
Just because it's an accident doesn't mean that it's not criminal.
Prosecutors have charged Baldwin with 2 different counts of involuntary manslaughter. The district attorney said in a statement posted on January 19th that for the first charge to be proved, there must be underlying negligence.
We use the term often culpable negligence when we're talking about criminal negligence, which means that an ordinary, prudent adult of average intelligence could have foreseen the end result.
The district attorney said the second charge requires proof that
That's the other thing too. Like they're gonna have to answer how or who brought this live ammo on set when it was supposed to be a blank. Also, I think this goes into the same thing. Like because I own a firearm and I don't have any kids, if I did have kids and let's say my child found this firearm and they shot themselves with it or they shot someone with it, I would still be responsible. I would still go to jail because that's negligence on my end. Like leaving the firearm somewhere for somebody to find it. If I drop my firearm by accident and this is unlikely, but let's just say it went off and it went through the wall and it hit the neighbor's kid and they passed away or they even got hit in general, I am going to jail for that. So I think him not knowing is, it's so hard for me to say. I think it's clear, like him not knowing doesn't absolve him from being charged, because just because you don't know the law and you break the law doesn't mean you're not gonna be charged for it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't know it was illegal to slap a grandma, you slap a grandma. Are you innocent because you didn't know the law exists? The law exists for a reason, even if you know it or not. You know what I mean? Like it's very tough. It's very tough. I think he definitely should be charged. I think the people who handled the firearm prior to him should also be charged, not just him because he pulled the trigger. Those people also have, I guess, responsibilities that they all fail to do.
there was more than simple negligence involved in a death, and that the charge includes a firearm enhancement or added mandatory penalty because a firearm was involved.
The defendant cannot be found guilty of both, and of course, the defendant can be found not guilty of either, and it's the district attorney who has to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. I suspect the reason why there are two charges is it makes it more likely that they can meet their burden of proof in their own mind, that they can meet their burden of proof in one of the two.
According to the district attorney, the first charge is punishable by up to 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine, while the firearm enhancement makes the crime punishable by a mandatory 5 years in jail.
Are they okay?
Armor Gutierrez-Reed was also charged with involuntary manslaughter in the incident. Her lawyer said that the court filing showed that the district attorney misunderstood the facts and reached the wrong conclusions. First Assistant Director Halls has agreed to plead no contest to the petty misdemeanor charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon, according to his attorney.
Every person that handles a gun has a duty to make sure that if they're going to handle that gun,
That's right.
point it at someone and pull the trigger, that it is
I
not
agree.
going to fire a projectile and kill someone.
Baldwin has repeatedly denied pulling the gun's trigger, but has acknowledged pulling back the gun's hammer and letting it go.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
The trigger had to have been pulled in order for that gun to go off. The trigger was pulled.
Yeah,
The district attorney-
That's cap. If you know anything about like even like a single action or double action firearm, you're gonna have to pull that trigger, my boy. F that, you just cock it. Nah. I'm not buying that.
Said she is basing her assessment on an FBI analysis of the gun that concluded it could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger.
She says this is a key piece of evidence to her case to support the charge of involuntary manslaughter.
That's what the prosecutor will be arguing, that you wouldn't depress the trigger unless you were absolutely sure that the gun was unloaded or unsafe. And so if the trigger required a finger pull, some force on it, that should have been one of those fail-safe steps that was met, but was not met.
Can you guys step right over here?
Now that charges have been filed, prosecutors will present their case before a judge, who will rule whether there is probable cause to move forward.
As we know from the attorneys that
I think the number one question I would have as well is whether or not they have beef. If they had beef, then that's a bigger question. Like, if they had prior issues, then it's going to be wild. Hey, yo, be rich. Be rich now, today, not tomorrow. Yo, Rich. Let's see.
Damn, just shot a pussy nigga. Now I look like Alec Baldwin.
Alec
In the
Baldwin.
anthem, based on.
Yo.
That's crazy.
It's wild. Like I think the first time around I saw the story, and that's before they brought the second charges. I'm like, he probably gonna skate because he got all this money, all these lawyers, and he's so famous. He's probably gonna skate. But the fact that they brought back those charges back on him, it's very interesting. What are your thoughts? Do you think he should get jail time for this, or you think he should skate?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think what one of the ladies in there was saying was kind of true. You know what I'm saying? Like, just cause, or somebody, I don't know if it was a lady or you or something I heard. It was like, just cause you didn't know or whatever doesn't mean that you're not responsible. At the end of the day, you did it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you
Right.
and then what makes it look bad too is he lying. He talking about something. I didn't pull the trigger. Come
Facts.
on, bro.
Facts.
What are you talking about?
That's facts. We all
Like,
know
there's
you
no
have to
way.
pull that trigger, my boy. We
But
all
you
know
have
this.
that's how it works. that's
Right.
what a gun is. That's what it does. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? The line is kind of crazy. And so yeah, it's a little unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, jail time, I don't know, I don't know, but then again, you know what I'm saying, hit him with a fine, then that's kind of crazy too. The girl is dead, the lady is dead.
Dead. She ain't coming back.
Oh wow, yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
tough.
I think a
tough.
fine
I
is
don't know.
disrespectful, bro. I think a fine is
Yeah.
disrespectful. Not only to her family, to the poor people. Like poor people like me, it's disrespectful.
Facts.
If I did some shit like that, I'm not getting a fine. You crazy as hell. I'm not getting no
No,
fine.
that's
I'm
facts.
getting jail time.
That's facts. Yeah, you gotta throw him in, bro. You gotta throw him. You gotta throw him and the two.
All three.
The two that blah blah. Yeah, the three that was
Yeah.
supposed to check it or whatever. They all gotta go, bro. They
I
all
agree.
gotta
I
go
agree.
just to set the example. You know what I'm saying? Just to, you know what I'm saying? You can't just do that and imagine one nigga get away with it now. Okay, oh, it just happened again. Maybe not him, but somebody else on a set doing this, doing that. Oh, sorry, accident or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, you can't let these things slide. Just to set the example, bro.
Yeah, and I think this is not even the first time. What's his face? I think Jet Li's son died from the same thing.
Not gonna lie, that's crazy work, bro.
From live ammo. Yeah, bro. I think that was the news. I don't remember.
Yeah, I see something.
Family of Jet Li man
While
sued some
filming The
police.
Crow in 1993, Brandon Lee
Yeah.
died from a wound on set caused by a firearm malfunction.
You see, there you go. Yeah, I remember some story like that. Like, it's not the first time. Like, for Alec Baldwin to skate just because he's, let's say, just because he's famous or super popular, it would be wrong. Like, all these people got to be charged so that it doesn't occur again. So people don't keep doing it. Because if you don't hold the first person accountable, everybody's gonna be like, okay, it's cool. That's just negligible behavior and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
man.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a really, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? I want to believe that he didn't know that it was XYZ, but at the end of the day, man, you gotta check, bro. It don't matter. It literally doesn't matter. We're taught that over and over and over again. If if you have a firearm, you're taught that over and over. Always check, always check, always check. And so definitely negligence on his part, regardless if we're making a movie or not, bro.
I agree, bro. I agree. Top tier shit. Talking about